Hello, hello. Got you a new Roku? Maybe you'd like to know about some of the best free channels on the Roku, aside from the ones that people already talk about, like Netflix. And we're going to start with Pluto TV on that front. Pluto TV to me is kind of like the forerunner of all the free services that we see today. It was the first to put together a bunch of channels, and then it added on demand content, but it is all content from the internet, and it is free and legal, which is very important. So many things you see out there will say, oh, thousands of channels free from the internet. But Pluto TV, which is owned by Paramount Incorporated, has great deals set up and partnerships with so many distributors that they seem to have an endless amount of both live TV channels and a big library of on-demand content, also like the channels, broken up into different content categories, so you know what you're getting into. I mean, obviously you're going to find something different in the crime section than you are in the game shows section, unless there's a show about a crime that was on a game show, and hey man, maybe they'll be in both, right? But in general, this is a logical and intuitive way to browse. It also has a search feature if you want to look for something specific, but that's more troublesome because you don't know quite what you're going to find here. You're much better off doing the searching for specific shows in like the Roku search. But in general, you see, there is a lot to check out. You can actually set up a free account and allow yourself to have things like favorites and saved shows, stuff like that. So that's helpful if you want to go that extra step, but you're going to have to do that online. Another app that you certainly can't miss out on is YouTube. You might be watching this video on the YouTube app for Roku right now. Or, if you're not, just want to let you know, it's worth getting. That's because this YouTube app is a portal to so much. YouTube has, of course you already know, lots of videos and categories. And when you sign into your own account, you can organize things the way that you want and find content even quicker. The big thing about the YouTube app for Roku is that it is the modern new app that already has the primetime channels available. And you might have heard of primetime channels recently because it's going to be a way to sign up for NFL Game Pass, actually NFL Sunday Ticket, on YouTube. There are also free movies with ads. A lot of people don't know that about YouTube, but you can watch a lot of free stuff, through YouTube, aside from things that someone uploaded. And it also has a newer section of new live categories. But this is the modern YouTube app that even links up with YouTube TV if you need it. Pandora is one of my favorite music apps, and it always has been, pretty much ever since it's been out. It is free and does have a subscription service that's ad-free, things like that. But I don't mind listening to commercials on the radio. I mean, it's what I've been doing all my life. And it has so much. I like the way that you can just choose an idea and go with it. Zumo is a lot like Pluto TV. This one is owned by Comcast, and again, they have lots of great partnerships, lots of excellent brands. That was one of the big things that they were pushing early on, was brands, recognizable brands like Hallmark, UFC, Funny or Die, things like that. They have channels dedicated specifically to just showing TV shows 24/7. And they also have more genre-based, as you see, news, weather, and so on. This is a good way to keep up with things. It's a good way to kill a couple of hours with a movie or a group of TV shows you like. It has both the live section and on-demand. The on-demand is, again, broken up into the same types of categories, so if you're in the mood for action, you know right where to look. It's not all in a big pile. Does anybody actually miss the days of just rooting through the old Walmart $1 bin? You'd find some of the best stuff in there. Anyway, we don't have to do that anymore, do we? Because services like this make it very, very easy. Zumo will be rebranded, just so you know. It's I think going to be called Zumo Play soon, because Comcast is doing a new thing where they're going to use the term Zumo to describe most of their streaming. But that's more something for the future. Till then, you can access the Zumo app and whatever it's called in the future on Roku. And just like other free apps, it has tons of stuff, but it has commercials broken up into the programming. Redbox, you might be familiar with the term Redbox. When you think Redbox, you probably think of those kiosks all over the place. The ones that used to have the $1 movies, the $2 movies. You know, a lot of places still have Redbox kiosks, but the company, Chicken Soup for the Soul, bought Redbox, and they're integrating it in with their streaming work. They have a lot of great categories. Redbox also has movies that you can buy, like premium movies that are still in the movie theater. They do that kind of thing. It also has a free live TV grid. And the thing is that, you'll notice that I point out, a lot of these things have on-demand movies and free live TV grids. The reason I'm pointing out so many different ones is the kind of stuff that you get in the different grids varies. Some of them have some cool features that others don't. Some have channels and content that the others don't. But in general, it's a really cool way to find new stuff. Here we have Popcorn Flicks. Popcorn Flicks is also owned by Chicken Soup for the Soul, which, frankly, it also owns Crackle, so They own Crackle, Popcorn Flicks, and Redbox right now. Popcorn Flicks is a really cool service. It's only on demand. It doesn't have those live TV things. But it has the biggest collection of movies that you might have never heard of, but are really cool. It's kind of like if you think of the old video store days, how you might find Terminator 2, but underneath it there might be Robot Wars or something like that. That's what you find on this service. But there have been a lot of afternoons where I just wanted to put something on, maybe it's something I'd never heard of, but you start watching it and you realize, movies are movies. There's award-winning, top-quality stuff, but the difference between something made for the Sci-Fi Channel and, say, The Core, it's not real different. So this is another service that I really do like. It's got TV shows, a lot of harder to find stuff that has been off the air for a long time. Maybe didn't get enough of a run to get major notice, but you can find it right there. Roku has its own free sections on this device, and of course it's available on all Roku platforms. That's called Featured Free. Featured Free is a place where Roku gathers up content from multiple partners, even major channels like Showtime and things like that, and puts content out that can be pulled in for free. It's beginning to get a heavier and heavier dose of content from the Roku Channel. Of course, that is their owned and operated channel. We'll check that out next. The Roku Channel is, again, it's a portal to a lot of partner content. It's different than Featured Free. You have to spend a little more time in it to see exactly what I'm talking about. One of the big differences between the Roku Channel and the Featured Free section is that you can access a save list. This is actually useful because you can create a full save list throughout Roku's content and access it right through the Roku Channel. But something cool about the Roku Channel that you don't find on a lot of things is it has its own original content. It's under Roku Originals. Some of this stuff is things that Roku snatched up when the very short-lived service Quibi went out of business. But it also has some really cool stuff that they did original just for this channel in recent times. You'll notice that it has some stuff from Weird Al. This is the Weird Al kind of fake biography. It's funny, it's starring Daniel Radcliffe. It got a lot of buzz early on. And you might have noticed a Zoe's Extraordinary Playlist Christmas movie that is also featured on the Roku channel. Both of those are full Roku original movies. There is a lot out there, and they make it really easy to get into the different categories. You got your genres, just like you would expect from any video service. And that's it. TuneIn is a music app. You might have remembered TuneIn. I don't know whether you've ever used it before. TuneIn is it's primarily music, and unfortunately it hasn't gotten updated as much as some of the other strong music services in streaming. But I like it because it gives you a group of your channels from your local markets. So the local channels kind of make deals. Some of them are on iHeartRadio, some of them are on TuneIn. So as you jump in, it'll do things that break things down by your local stuff. And you can also search for channels according to your genre. You want news radio, you want holiday songs, you want comedy radio, you find it through that. Now, iHeartRadio is one of my favorite music apps ever. It has gotten so good over the years. It used to be almost indistinguishable from TuneIn, but over the last couple of years, they've been modifying their app, making it prettier, easier to navigate, and adding things like podcasts and soundscapes that I think are really cool. Soundscapes are just basic themed things, and of course, podcasts are podcasts. If you're unfamiliar with podcasts, you really have been missing out. They're short, usually 20 minutes, half an hour long, sometimes longer conversations, historical explorations, things like that. And you can explore multiple podcasts through iHeartRadio, which I believe is the largest podcast network in the country. Might be Spotify, but I think it's podcast. Speaking of Spotify, there it is. Spotify is another free music service that also has podcasts. Again, all of these free services have sign-ins that you can use so that you can save favorites, save programming, even access downloads and things like that. But they're completely free otherwise. Like I said, there are commercials, but man oh man, the amount of stuff that you can access through these services is wonderful. It makes great background noise. It makes great stuff to fall asleep to. I mean, whatever you like to use music and podcasts for, you've got them right there. And this service has something that I really like. And that's that if you look for a specific singer, you can pretty much track their entire career discography. So let's say you want to jump in with something like Willie Nelson. You want to get out on the road again. We're going to look for Willie Nelson. N-E-L. I know, it's so boring to watch people type. I'm sorry. Maybe I should have edited that out, but don't kill me in the comments over this little thing. Alright, so we jump in with Willie Nelson, and you'll see it has a whole lot of Willie Nelson albums on. But when you click on Willie Nelson, the artist, you can go to the discography, and there's almost his entire career retrospective. Tons and tons and tons of music. Now, you can't talk about free services without talking about Tubi. Tubi is owned by Fox. You notice a pattern here. A lot of these free services are owned by big companies now. Tubi, like others, has a whole gigantic collection of movies and TV shows. Again, some things are going to be more exclusive to Tubi. Some of the things you will find on other places. But it's an easy to search, well curated site that brings together lots and lots of cool stuff, from award-winning things, action movies, again, indie movies that you might not have heard of. But as you're going through the video, I hope you're noticing, you see Medea, you see Michael Douglas, you see Bruce Willis. I mean, these aren't These aren't nobody type movies here. It has a number of partners. They call them networks here, but one of the big things that it has is because, like I said, it's owned by Fox. You can get Fox's content on pretty much any TV show owned by Fox is available through the Tubi app. So this is things like The Masked Singer and dance competitions and talent competitions, things like that. You can jump in on Tubi and you can see it after it airs, so that you can keep up with what everybody's talking about, if people still talk about that kind of thing. Let's take a look finally at the overall channel store. And the channel store, you're going to have a list of free movies and TV listings. This isn't every single free movie and TV listing, but it's a lot of the good ones. You can find others just by browsing. You can ask Roku for free movies and TV shows, things like that, free movie apps. There's hubs for it. There's a streaming hub for it. There's just a lot out there, and you don't want to miss out. So be sure to check out these ones that I've told you about. Check out that little row of free streaming things. Maybe even look for the streaming hub for free stuff. But the thing is that you don't have to pay for every single thing you watch on the Roku. No, no, no. Now, if you want their paid services like Disney Plus and HBO Max, go for it. They're great services. But in between, when you're just killing time, or if you have to cut back, know that there are options, and there's a lot of good ones. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, please sign up, give us a like, and share this video with your friends. Just like the things I did there, everything we put out is free, so we can use the support. As always, I'm Ryan Downey, the Streaming Advisor. Stream on, my friends.